Hello friends. Before I begin this video, I'm excited to announce that I just got pre-approved for a $40,000 loan. You know, I've been broke my whole life, living paycheck to paycheck, so it's about time something nice finally came along. Things around here are finally going to see some real change. What a blessing that has been mailed to me from the bank. Alright, here's where it gets fun. I wanted to ask you guys, the viewers, to cast your vote on what I should get with this money. I'm thinking either a brand new Audi A4, or maybe remodel my kitchen cabinets because I don't like the color, or should I just use it to pay bills and buy stuff over time? I'll let you guys decide in the comments. Oh, we're also going to have a giveaway where one lucky viewer can win some free cash. But first we'll have to see how much is left over after the car and the cabinets. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about my old neighbor. Back when me and the missus were living in the apartment complex, I remember sitting outside on the patio, and that day I met one of the other gentlemen living inside the building. He ended up talking for quite some time. He had quite the story to tell. Having been a homeless drug addict for many years, I found his stories very interesting. More interesting was the fact that he had been sober for nearly 20 years. Something my drunk ass couldn't even imagine at the time. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a bad person. I feel kind of guilty talking shit, but at the same time, he became such a shining example of how not to live, and I get such a kick just from talking about him. I started to suspect he may be bad with money when he reluctantly asked me to borrow $40. He was coming up short on his rent for the month, and I was making good money at the time. Figured if I could go to a bar and drink away $40, I'd have no trouble lending him the money. After all, it was just drinking and silver money to me, but to him, it would mean a whole lot more. Less than a month later, he returned the money I lent him. I thanked him, as I really wasn't expecting to get it back. I then figured I'd offer him some advice I read from The Richest Man in Babylon. And I said, you know, with every paycheck, you could take a few dollars here and there and just put it away. It may not sound like much, but it really adds up. And it can really save your ass if you're in another situation like this. He refuted. Nah, I've been broke my whole life, so when I get money, I like to enjoy life. I don't worry about this or that, and always manage to get by. I tried not to laugh, but in my mind, I had a massive grin on my face. About a year later, I'm hanging out with him. We walk over to the coffee shop nearby, and he's telling me how stressed he's been lately. Turns out for the past several months, he's been getting phone calls from debt collectors for an old credit card he ran up. He explains to me that I can't even imagine the stress this is causing him. Turns out he's being sued and received a letter in the mail saying he has to show up to court. I'm able to reassure him that in matters of finance, he's probably not going to get arrested or go to jail, but the judge is probably going to make him pay the creditor. I advise him to call the collector and establish some sort of payment plan, which should get him out of having to go to court. Fortunately, he manages to start making payments for like $50 a month. Now, during this time, he expresses to me how much he's hurting financially, you know, having to make those $50 payments each month to the nasty debt collectors. And this goes on for quite some time before he tells me he's only got a few payments left. Now at this point, I'm happy for him. I tell him, congratulations. It really is a good feeling to get out of debt. And he agrees with me. I then took the opportunity to advise him, start a plan to start saving an emergency fund. You know, nothing big, just $5 here and there every paycheck. Put it away, forget about it. And, you know, next time he's in trouble, he's got a fucking emergency fund. And to my surprise, he starts listing things he's been meaning to buy now that he's free of this debt. And it seems like he had built up a backlog. Several months go by. By now the government is passing out money like candy. I got my Trump bucks and stashed them away for a down payment on this house. And I can't wait to see what my neighbor is planning on doing with his stimulus money. $1,000 bucks? Surely he's gonna put some away for a rainy day. I mean, this is a dude that has been living paycheck to paycheck since I've met him, and he's getting $1,000 in the mail for free for doing fucking nothing. Now, before I continue, I want to mention, this is the kind of dude in his 50s who's constantly buying bullshit. Every time I see him, he's got something new, like a handmade hemp bracelet from California, or a brand new t-shirt that says, "Proud to be Italian," or some shit. Oh, I should explain, he paid for one of those DNA tests, and it turns out he was a mix of like 1,000 different things. So when he found out he was part Aztec, he spent a bunch of money on a bunch of Aztec bullshit for several months. I guess he was part Italian too. Let's just say he spent a lot of money on a lot of bullshit. I remember one time he was telling me about this amazing meditation guru, about how he was so advanced at meditation he could unlock his chakras and certain powers. I didn't question and let him talk. And for almost an hour he told me how he was going to purchase this guy's book and learn the ancient secrets of meditation and shit. And almost a year went by without him ever bringing it up again. So I asked him, so did you learn to meditate? You talked about it like it was the coolest thing. He said no. I guess he got bored and he bought something else. And I remember him telling me about the magic butter coffee and how it's keto. Yeah, he spent lots of money on the keto book and the magic coffee beans and drank butter coffee for like maybe a week. And I watched the fucker eat bread explaining, "I can eat carbs because I'm usually keto." A few months later, he was on an ancient Mayan chia seed diet. You basically guzzle a bunch of water and chia seeds in the morning, and you unlock the strength of the ancient Mayans, who were apparently in very good shape, mind you. He told me this as he drank a bottle of Coca-Cola, which was marked for individual sale. Anyway, so I asked him, any big plans for the $1,000 stimulus check? I'm saving mine for a rainy day, I said. And he told me he found a really good private investigator on Oprah. And that he gave his $1,000 to the woman to find his father. Pretending not to be screaming inside, I said, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Think she'll find out? You think she'll find out who your father is? He was really excited and explained, "Yeah, it's a $5,000 total, and I paid her the first $1,000. Now, concerned, I asked him, Do you have $4,000 to give her when she finds your dad?" "No," he responded, "but I don't have to pay her until she finds him, and I should have it by then." I bit my tongue. Decided I was going to stop wasting my time. Dave Ramsey says statistically our income is relative to the income of the people we hang out with most. So I decided to steer clear of this dude as much as I could. And the last time I saw him, I'd already moved out, but he asked if I could help him move. Now, I was happy to help, and he even gave me a few bucks. I get to his apartment, and there's a $400 electric scooter sitting in his living room. Now, this dude doesn't have a car or driver's license, and only leaves the house to buy groceries. And there's a $400 fucking scooter just sitting there not being used. I think I knew how he spent the other stimulus money. Oh well, I never have to see the guy again. His new apartment is cheaper, so I told him one last time, before I said bye, it would be a solid opportunity to build a nest egg in case something happens or if he wants to retire. But he explained to me, "Nah, I always find a way." Anyway, one day when he retires and is on Social Security, he would like to own his own business, so he says. Maybe a coffee shop or a store. You know, once he's settled down and doesn't have to work to live anymore, and can focus on what he wants to do rather than what he needs to do, one day he'll be free. One day. Fucking idiot.